Philippine National Police. Operational procedures. Rule 8. Use of firearm during police operations. 8.1. Use of firearm when justified. The use of firearm is justified if the offender poses imminent danger of causing death or injury to the police officer or other persons. The use of firearm is also justified under the doctrines of self-defense, defense of a relative, and defense of a stranger. However, one who resorts to self-defense must face a real threat on his life, and the peril sought to be avoided must be actual, imminent and real. Unlawful aggression should be present for self-defense to be considered as a justifying circumstance. 8.2. Firing at moving vehicles prohibited but with exceptions. A moving vehicle shall not be fired upon except when its occupants pose imminent danger of causing death or injury to the police officer or any other person, and that the use of firearm does not create a danger to the public and outweighs the likely benefits of its non-use. 8.3. Parameters to be considered in firing at moving vehicles. In firing at a moving vehicle, the following parameters should be considered. A. The intent of the suspects to harm the police officer or other persons. B. The capability of the suspects to harm with certainty the police officer or other persons. And C. Accessibility or the proximity of the suspects from the police officer and other persons. 8.4. Filing of an incident report after the use of firearm. A police officer who fires his service firearm or weapon during a confrontation with an offender or offenders must submit an incident report outlining the circumstances necessitating the use of his firearm. 8.5. Procedures after an armed confrontation. Immediately after an armed confrontation, the officer who is in charge of the operation shall A. Secure the site of confrontation. B. Take photographs. C. Check whether the situation still poses imminent danger. D. Evacuate the wounded to the nearest hospital. E. Ensure that all persons who died on the spot are not moved from their original position. F. Arrested suspects should be kept in isolation. G. Conduct debriefing on all involved PNP operatives. H. Submit after operations report, and I. Ensure psychological stress counseling for all involved PNP operatives. Rule 9. Patrol procedures. 9.1. Patrol guidelines. A. Observe precautionary measures and personal safety while on patrol. B. Observe defensive driving and follow traffic rules and regulations. C. Select routes which provide best visibility. D. Patrol members must be always on the lookout for indications of vices and other illegal activities on their beat. E. Patrol members must be knowledgeable of all conditions, events and details of places on their beat. F. Be observant of people, places, situations or conditions and develop a suspicious attitude especially if the subject appears to be slightly out of the ordinary. G. Keep under close observation actions of juveniles, troublemakers, agitators and the mentally ill, retarded persons. H. Be familiar, as much as possible, with known criminals, ex-convicts residing in or frequenting the patrol beat. I. Be familiar with stay-in employees of business establishments on your beat. J. Be on the alert for loiterers. K. Keep watch on uninhabited homes. L. Observe the practice of shaking doors of unguarded business establishments during night patrol. Check for signs of intrusion. M. Establish good rapport with the people on your beat. N. Develop contacts by getting to know as many people as possible who can give factual information about crime conditions on the patrol beat. O. Use tact and persuasiveness when conducting spot inquiry or questioning individuals for information. P. When requiring identification from a suspicious person or any individual, avoid taking the wallet or bag in which the cards, documents are placed. Let the individual remove and hand them to you. Q. When checking suspicious persons, places, buildings, establishments and vehicles especially during nighttime, be prepared to use your service firearm. Flashlight should be held tightly away from the body to avoid making you a possible target. And R. Patrol members should avoid loitering in theaters, restaurants and other recreational places. 9.2. Duties of patrol supervisors. A. In any operation, careful planning is a must in order to avoid waste of time, effort and resources. Make a patrol plan with the following details. 1. Area coverage, safe haven, ambush areas and crime-prone areas. 2. Organizational detail of personnel. 3. Duration. 4. Standby points. And 5. Route plan. B. Designate and select the members of the patrol teams. C. Inspect the members of the patrol for completeness of uniforms, operational readiness and all government-issued equipment, firearms, mobile car, radio, etc., to ensure that these are well maintained and properly used by the patrol officer. D. Conduct briefing prior to dispatch by disseminating any orders, directives or instructions from the Chief of Police or higher authorities and new policy or guidelines being implemented by the PNP organization. E. Remind the patrol team about the strict observance of the PNP operational procedures. F. Strictly observe buddy system during the patrol operations. G. Render hourly report of location and situation through radio, telephone, cell phone to Police Community Precinct, Station Headquarters Tactical Operations Center TOC. H. Render after patrol report duly signed by detailed personnel. PCP commanders shall collate and submit significant details to the station patrol supervisor, who in turn, will submit the same to the provincial, district patrol supervisor. And I. Conduct debriefing after the patrol to assess its conduct and make necessary corrective measures on defects noted. 9.3 Duties of Patrol Officer. A. Attend the roll call formation before his tour of duty for briefing and likewise attend the after tour of duty formation for debriefing. B. Patrol the assigned beats, observe and check suspicious people, structures, buildings, compounds and vehicles. C. Observe and monitor public gatherings, prevent disorders and disperse unlawful assemblies. D. Inspect or conduct surveillance in various business establishments and other installations and remove hazards to public safety. E. Check suspicious vehicles, private, public, or commercial, delivery vehicles, along the main roads, highways in the course of their patrol. F. Report occurrences and conditions which relate to crime, public peace, order and safety. G. Prevent crimes and arrest cited law violators, assuring the public that peace is preserved. H. Conduct regular visitations, dialogues, consultations with the residents and other stakeholders. I. Assist personnel of responsible agencies, unit in facilitating the flow of traffic at busy intersections, roads within his area of responsibility, assist and provide pedestrian information such as directions and street locations. J. Enforce city, municipal ordinances on liquor establishments and nightclubs, cabarets and all houses of ill repute. K. Respond to calls, entertain complaints, initiate the investigation and protection of the scene and minimize the after effects of accidents, fires and other catastrophes. L. Patrol officers shall wear the prescribed patrol uniform. M. Patrol officers must have the equipment necessary in the performance of their duty. 9.4 Guidelines and procedures when responding to calls for police assistance. A. Gather and note down in the patrol officer's logbook all available data as to the nature of the calls, date, time and name of the caller. It may be regular, urgent or emergency in nature. B. The manner of approach will be dependent on the nature of the call, either with haste, secrecy or without flashing lights and sirens. C. Consider the pertinent factors like the time, traffic conditions, the possibility of greater damage and the neighborhood characteristics. D. Stop the patrol car some distance from the scene. E. Approach the scene on foot, in complete silence and exercising extreme caution. F. Immediately attend to the injured, unless the other members of the patrol are in immediate danger. G. Focus all efforts to arrest criminals, however, priority shall be given to aiding the injured. H. Determine the crime committed, identify and question briefly the victim, complainant and possible witnesses at the scene. I. If the suspects or criminals have fled the scene before the arrival of the patrol team, immediately relay the composition, armament, appearance, and mode and direction of escape of the suspects to the Operations Center for the conduct of dragnet operations. J. When responding to street fights, brawls, the patrol member should call for backup before intervening. If there are no injuries and insufficient corroborative statements obtained to identify who started the fight, disperse the crowd and make complete notes. K. Never treat calls or complaints of loud noises caused by barking dogs, drunks, appliances and parties as negligible or a nuisance. They only need courteous and tactful intervention and not enforcement actions. L. When responding to calls for police assistance due to planted or found explosives, never attempt to handle, move or lift the object. Instead, contact Operations Center and request for Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team, EODT. Onlookers must be promptly led to a safe distance away from the scene. Refer to Rule 34. M. When responding to calls from owners of beer houses, bars or inns or any other similar establishments during night time, request the owner to put the lights on first before entering the establishments. N. Do not attempt to arbitrate and resolve conflicts, differences between neighbors, landlords, tenants, husband and wife.
This presentation is prepared by Police Staff Sergeant Marlon Fernandez Anabeza, a bona fide member of PNP Class 2011-01, Batch Exodus. PNP Scout, Class 34-2012, Batch Sick Lab. PNP SWAT, Class 2014-01. Batch Hitman. PNP Criminal Investigation Course, Class 363-2015.